In the old town square stood a very old oak tree. During the day, it looked just like any other tree, but every full moon night, that tree would awaken. On those nights, the tree would tell the future of one person from the town. Its whispers were so mysterious and eerie that they would send a shiver right down to your very soul. Every full moon, the people of the town would gather beneath it. Their hearts were a mix of hope and an unknown fear. They never knew whose name the tree would call and whose page of destiny it would turn. On this particular night, the full moon was shining brightly, and under the tree, the villagers sat, holding their breath. The town's atmosphere was thick with tension. All eyes were fixed on the ancient oak. The wind suddenly died, every leaf froze, and a dead silence fell over the crowd. And then, a deep, trembling whisper echoed from the dry leaves, stopping every heart. The tree whispered, Ethan. A shockwave went through the crowd. Ethan, he was the same bright 18-year-old boy who had been missing for months. No one knew where he had gone. At his home, his mother's heart was broken, her days spent in tears. All sorts of rumors were spreading through the town. Some said he'd fallen in with a bad crowd, others feared he'd been kidnapped. The town was lost in a dark fog of confusion and grief. Hearing Ethan's name, a ray of hope ignited in his mother's eyes. Everyone leaned forward, desperate to hear what the tree would reveal about their beloved missing boy. The tree spoke again. Exactly 3 days from tonight, he will return. A wave of joyous relief washed over the villagers. They looked at each other, smiling, but the tree wasn't finished. It whispered again, and with him comes a great secret, a shocking truth that will save this town from a very serious and terrible danger. And then the tree fell silent. Its whispers dissolved into the air. Quiet returned to the square, but this was the quiet before a storm. This prophecy from the tree left the villagers both thrilled and terrified. The 3-day wait filled their hearts with both hope and fear. On one hand, there was the joy of Ethan's return, but on the other, the dread of this terrible danger that was coming for their town. Those 3 days felt like 3 centuries to the people of the town. Everyone was talking about it. The elders said, it is surely an outside threat. The woman worried, what if a terrible plague is coming? The children were scared. Ethan's mother kept a candle burning for 3 straight days. She just prayed to God that her son would return home safely. The first day passed, then the second. Every single person in the town kept their eyes glued to the long road that led into the village. And then, the evening of the 3rd day arrived. The sun was setting, and with it, the villagers' hope began to fade. Just then, someone from a distance shouted, Look, someone's coming. Everyone saw a young man kicking up dust was walking towards the town. It was Ethan. He had truly come back. The town erupted as if it were a festival. His mother ran to him, hugging him tightly, tears of joy streaming down her face. But there was no smile on Ethan's face. He looked exhausted and there was a deep worry in his eyes. He said, I don't have much time. We need to gather everyone in town immediately. I have brought news of a very big threat. Soon, all the villagers were gathered once again under the same great oak tree. But this time, the tree was silent and it was Ethan who was speaking. And what Ethan revealed made the ground shift beneath their feet. He told them he hadn't run away into some bad company. He had left to uncover a massive conspiracy against their town. He explained that some powerful, greedy people from the city were plotting a danger plan. They wanted to steal the villagers' land through deceit. Their plan was to first make false promises to tempt the villagers, then they would offer more money to a few people to turn them against their own neighbors. Their conspiracy was to create so much division in the town that people would just keep fighting with each other while they quietly used legal loopholes to take over all the land. Ethan had accidentally overheard a man discussing this shocking plan on the phone, and he had followed him to gather proof. Ethan warned the villagers, his voice filled with urgency. They want to break us. If we fight amongst ourselves, we will lose not only our land but our brotherhood as well. Hearing this, the villagers thanked Ethan for enduring such hardship alone to save their town. Now was not the time for fear. It was time to fight back. Led by Ethan, the villagers came up with a plan to confront this conspiracy. They gathered proof. Ethan had secretly recorded the greedy developers' conversations on his phone. The village elders went to the city office and got certified copies of their land deeds. And then the day came when those people, those conspirators, arrived in their fancy cars, thinking that by now they would have successfully made the simple-minded villagers fight each other and become weak according to their plan. But there, the entire village stood together united as one. When those men started making their false promises, Ethan played the recording. The truth was out for everyone to hear. The conspirators were exposed. They had to run from the village to save their lives. The tree's prophecy had come true. Ethan had returned with a great secret, and a terrible danger had been avoided. That evening, all the villagers gathered once again under the great oak tree. But this time, their hearts were not filled with fear, but with reverence and gratitude. They thanked the tree as if it could sense their love. The tree's branches swayed gently as if it were smiling. From this story, we learn that truth always triumphs, no matter how tough the challenge. When faced with lies and deceit, if we stay united and courageous, no danger can defeat us. The next full moon is coming. Whose secret do you think the tree will reveal? Guess in the comments.